Hello guys, once again it's Matt, and today we have another video. Thank you all the members, all the patrons. Make sure to subscribe and let's get into it. And we are flying out some of the higher tier bombers in the game to talk a little bit about, is it possible or should we see strategic bombers especially, but maybe even some tactical bombers in the higher ranks? Does it have a place in the game? I already did a video about this a very long time ago, before it was even with the big maps, if I'm not mistaken. And of course, since then, a lot of the things had changed, right? They have been changing for quite a while in the game modes, in the economy of the game, etc., right? And I think it's a good point to go over it. So first things first, let's talk about the strategic bombers, right? What are the models that I'm talking about? Well, I'm talking about, of course, B-52s, Tu-95s, Vulcans, stuff like that. Let's talk about these types of bombers first. Well, guys, let's be honest here. I don't think it has a place in the game. But don't get me wrong, I still want to see these bombers in the game. So how could that be? Well, that's the thing, guys. It's not because of the bomber that these things should not be added. It's because of the game mode. Air RB right now and Air AB, to be honest, and even simulator battles, they lack the targets and the mission type for you to use such an aircraft. Remember, these aircraft, they're very easy to destroy. They need heavy escort, you know. Although they would be used in a real war, at the end of the day they need an escort, just like a CAS aircraft would need a clear airspace, but it is in the game. The bombers would actually need that as well. The problem is that these aircraft, they're not like a CAS aircraft that can actually fly low and, you know, still eat the crumbles a little bit from a side aspect of things into a match. Why? Because they are made to actually destroy. They're not really maneuverable, right? They're made to be destroying very heavy targets, very big targets, targets that are factories, cities even, or whatever they want, that it's a big target, right? And with that, it has a big problem. It has two big problems in the game. First of all, we don't have that type of target. You will notice in the next game that I'm playing that I just don't have the speed or the time to actually get the targets before the lighter tactical bombers, even CAS aircraft could, you know, so that I can destroy a target, I mean, before they can, right? Like a fast aircraft that have a lot more power and a sense of trust, you know, to actually get to the target and destroy the bases, you know, quicker than me. They can always do that, which means that it leaves the strategic bomber to actually try to destroy ground targets, which is kind of difficult and not really worth it for grind or for points or for whatever, like Silver Lions or everything like that, right? Which becomes a problem. So you kinda is just flying around until the bases appear again, which was what I was doing with TU4. I actually decided to not wait because there was a lot of aircraft attacking me, and I actually went for ground targets, but I barely did anything. I killed like 5 ground targets or something, so it not really is the mission of these aircraft, right? They are really sluggish, and even the more modern ones, it doesn't have to be a TU4, they will always be sluggish. So they're too sluggish for the targets that we have right now, and we don't have particular objectives for them. That's the main thing. If we ever going to see a strategic bomber like a B-52 or something, we need big strategic targets for you to destroy, and basically be only destroyed by like these types of aircraft, you know. So maybe only the big bombs that these aircraft use, or the amount of them, can actually destroy a target and be worth it, or something along those lines. We need a change in targets, or basically an addition of a target for an aircraft such as this to be added. And the second thing is, of course, the way that the maps are anyway, right? because these aircraft, they are meant to be escorted of like if you remember Operation Linebreaker, if I'm not mistaken, or Linebacker, forgot the name, kind of showed that, you know, a little bit, or even in the Korean War with these strategic bombers. If you don't have air cover, and if you don't have kind of a little bit of time to stay away from targets and try to, you know, be alive a little bit while you are like destroying these targets, you are going to get destroyed very quickly. And what I mean about that is radar missiles, guys. With radar missiles and even IR missiles, destroying these bombers are really, really easy. Unless they start to add some form of ECM for these bombers or something. But I don't know, like still there needs to be certain changes for these aircraft to actually survive the modern fighters. I'm not even talking about MiG-29s, I'm talking about MiG-21s, MiG-19s, stuff like that, to be a 10.0 bomber or something like that. I'm not even talking about R-27s and stuff, right? And the tactical bombers, or whatever you want to call it, the more modern bombers, not more modern, but the smaller ones that are faster, then yes, I think we might see them. We are technically already seeing them, like the Tornado, like the F-111. In the future, we can even have the Su-24 that I already talked about in many videos. Maybe even something like the B-1 or the Tu-160. Those bombers, yes, they will suffer here and there from fighter, you know, being a lot superior than the aircraft to actually kill them, but at least they have the speed and they can fly low in a very nimble way compared to the strategic bombers to actually do something. I still think that these aircraft should receive new targets. You know, as I said, I still believe that these bombers need new types of targets, factories, big targets for them to actually hit. But at least now they already have a place, and even aircraft like the Tu-16 or some of the other ones that are in the middle between, I mean, they are a proper tactical bomber, right? They are not a strategic bomber, but they are not like a frontline bomber or anything like that. They can be added, but with minor additions, with bigger targets and stuff. More separated targets, maybe. Targets that are a little bit more spread out during the map, so that you can actually try to be an interdictor and get behind enemy lines and like hidden and destroy targets or something like that. That would be cool. But that's something that the strategic bombers just cannot do, right? So I think it's a level of change that we need here. For the tactical bombers, for the interdictors, stuff like that, they can already have a place in the game. With minor additions, they can even be one of the most fun aircraft that you can play in the sense of air-to-ground. But strategic bombers, we need a whole new type of map with a whole new type of, not a new type of map, but a whole new type of strategic target to get destroyed, spread out targets, just like an EC map or something like that. You notice that people, a lot of people complain about these maps because there's always one guy that keeps running away, right? So it's basically, it will create its problems on their own, but it's probably the only way that we would see a strategic bomber, a modern strategic bomber being added. This is only my opinion, of course. Make sure to subscribe and leave it in the comments if you do. Would you like to see Vulcans, Tu-95s, B-52s, Tu-16s, and all sorts of other bombers in the game? Do they have a place in the game? Let me know in the comments. I see you guys on the next one. As I said, subscribe and bye.